Hi, welcome to this section of your personal and professional development program. My name's Linda Pallien. I'm the Placements, Careers and Employability Manager here at LD Training. In this course, today we're going to be talking about something that's very exciting, and I say it's exciting because it's the framework that enables you to be able to create your own career success and your own level of authority in the field that you want to go to. And it's going to help you to get to the next level of success, wherever you're starting from, wherever it is you need to go. There is something in here for everyone that helps you to build on the skills. And it's super practical that you can implement immediately today to start seeing results. So this is very exciting. We'll jump right ahead, and this is the Create Employability Framework. The Create Employability Framework was curated by expert career guidance professionals in collaboration with academics, researchers, and industry professionals to see what it is what are the skills and attributes that are being sought after in the marketplace today. Today, in the current climate, in the current environment, and really what will make you stand out as an employee, as a graduate, as a candidate, as a business professional, as a business partner. What are the skills that you would look for if you were bringing someone in a high-level position, if you were partnering with them in a business, if you were doing a joint venture? What are some of these skills that you would be looking for? It's an exhaustive framework, but it embodies the key skills that you would need to have and demonstrate to be able to be successful in the world today. CREATE is an acronym, and I will talk about that in detail. Later we'll discuss at depth what each one means and how you can incorporate that. Why is this so important? Again, it's what the market demands of you right now. It underpins everything in the curriculum and outside the curriculum that you may have studied, are studying. And the goal is to understand how you're developing these skills as you're developing them within academia when you're attending your courses, but also in your work life. How are you developing these skills? And maybe to do a bit of a personal skills analysis and find out which of these skills you definitely have, which of them you need to develop, and which of them you need to showcase better. Okay? And you're going to find in the career workbooks that we've spoken about to be able to assess and tick against these skills. Okay? So again, the more aware you are of these skills, the better you are at knowing what the industry wants and then meeting those and maybe exceeding those. Okay, so here it is as an entirety. It's an exhaustive list, but we'll break down these skills and you'll be able to see step by step how each one of these skills applies to you. Bite-sized chunks, that's the goal. Check off as many skills as possible, identify your personal gaps, and articulate what you know in industry standards and in a way that it's understandable to a potential employer or to any of the stakeholders that may need to know that you possess these skills. Okay, so the first step of CREATE is the C, which is commercial acumen. By commercial acumen, we mean the skills needed to run an organization. That's why should we hire you? Why should we work with you? Okay, are you a value add to the company or are you a value drain? And in our lives, we can relate to this, who adds value to our lives and who doesn't contribute much to our lives. And this is what we're talking about in this sphere of commercial acumen. So your financial literacy, leadership, team building, marketing, sector awareness, risk management, all the skills needed to run an organization. Do you have these? I won't list all of them, the 66 skills under CREATE, but you can see that and pause the video if you need to be able to identify these skills. R is for resourcefulness. So this is your ability to find innovative, creative ways, quick and clever ways of overcoming challenges. Everybody can benefit from having someone like you who possesses resourcefulness skills in the organization. So how can you showcase this? So one of my favorite sayings is everything is figure outable, right? How do you figure it out and how do you react in the face of adversity? So drawing on your previous experience, how you've explored different options and coming up with solutions for it. So your research ability, innovative abilities, critical thinking skills, self-sufficiency as well, and your ability to analyze and evaluate what's going on, probably even see what's happening in the future and predict and mitigate against risks. Okay, so that's for research and resourcefulness. Your E is enterprising skills. Enterprising skills are innovation, how you can showcase that you're innovative, you take initiative, and you take personal responsibility, entrepreneurship. Now, not everybody will be an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur, but everyone can benefit from having those skills. You might be an intrapreneur, which means you're using entrepreneurship skills within a company, and that's perfectly okay. But how do you showcase these skills? So independent working, forecasting, creativity, problem solving, time management, creating opportunities. There's a saying that says there isn't a lack of money, but a lack of creativity. How can you apply this in the work that you're doing right now or where you want to get to? A is for attitude and aptitude. So this is your personal outlook on life and challenges, your natural tendencies and qualities. You may have heard me talk about your zone of genius. And yes, it's not about just doing what you love to do, but really, how can you apply your natural traits in your work to make you a bit more successful? And how can you adopt a growth mindset, a positive outlook, to be able to not be a value drain again, and to be able to solve problems in the most creative, positive way, rather than being dragged down by whatever the challenge is. Okay, so how do you deal with challenges? So emotional intelligence, resilience, your mindset, motivation, self-awareness. You've heard me say in this course several times, the best subject to study is you. Do you know your strengths and your weaknesses, and how are you leveraging those or mitigating against the weaknesses? What's your personal ethos and your communication style? And do you adapt your communication to other people to make sure that the message is passed through? You're not just talking at people or writing emails, but making sure the message lands and the intended action is followed through. So this is aptitude and attitude, and it's very important to make a holistic and well-rounded, successful professional. T is your technical skills. These are the hard skills, what we call hard skills, and job-specific know-how, including digital skills. How confident and competent are you at applying the job-specific skills you've learned in the day-to-day work life? So this could be part of digital confidence, digital citizenship, in the era now of artificial intelligence and LLMs, large language models, and all of these apps. Are you able to apply it efficiently to the work that you do? Data analysis, the knowledge of the job, some of these specific tools and softwares that you might need to be able to do your job efficiently. Cloud computing, network administration. It could be anything in any sector. If you're in the medical field, you'll be looking at specific evolutions and research that's coming out in the field to make you a bit more efficient, new ways and better ways of doing it. If you're in the beauty industry, it might be what's the latest trend or what's the better way of doing what you already do and how you evolve in that sphere. So really understanding, do you know how to do the job, right? At least that's the basics. And the final E in create is your environmental consciousness. Now, it's not just in practice, but also in thought. The impact of your actions on others, but also the natural world. So not just going green to be environmentally conscious or to tick a box or to be corporate, to meet your corporate social responsibility needs, but really how does your work affect everyone else around you? It might be people in your company, it might be people, the end user, it might be the entire town, the whole world, but really being able to showcase that. So even in an interview situation where you're talking about, in 5 years, I see us creating this, flying cars, robots in every house, how does that impact older generation or more vulnerable people? Just being able to show in thought and in practice that I've been able to think through, and actually environmental consciousness is part of my reasoning, is a very, very important skill that makes you stand out from all the other professionals. This is why Create is so important and so comprehensive, because we've really, at LD Training, tried to give you a broad scope of skills that you can showcase in your work. Okay? So ethical practices, cultural awareness, social justice and responsibility, diversity and inclusion, equity, philanthropy, community engagement, and how does it affect everyone else and the natural environment around us? Are we bottom line only, or are we looking at how can we be both corporate, environmentally conscious, and get a good bottom line? That's going to stand you in good stead in any business environments that you go into. So that's the Create framework in a nutshell. This is a brief summary of what Create framework is. And I hope it's given you a lot to think about. Commercial acumen for C, resourcefulness for R, E for enterprising skills, A for attitude and aptitude, T for technical skills, and E for environmental consciousness. So now that you know, I would love you to take action right now. I promised you at the beginning of the video this was something that you were going to be able to take and implement right away, right now, wherever you are. So I'm going to show you again the skills in a minute, and what I want you to do is tick off as many of these skills as you can currently demonstrate at this level right now. And then the second part of it will be to put an asterisk next to the skills that you need more experience in. So this is you doing a skills gap analysis on you right now, where you stand in your current work, or even as a benchmark of where you want to get to, and identifying which skills you need to develop, to work on, to showcase more. And then take a minimum of 5 skills and use a STAR example. We spoke about STAR example, which is the situation, task, action, result, and research, so the learnings. If you don't know what the STAR example is, go back and look at the course document on selling yourself and your skills and interview skills, and you'll be able to get an in-depth explanation to that. But create a STAR example for a minimum of 5 skills, and you can do this at your own pace, but this is very important for you. The more prepared you are for the opportunity, the better you will be at grasping that opportunity when it arises. So definitely, if you can work through all 66 skills, good for you, go for it. But a minimum of 5 skills will be a good starting point to see what skills are needed in your sector, how you meet these and demonstrate how you've already done these or how you're going to gain these skills. So here's the slide again of all of the attributes and the create. I want you to look through, as we said, look at the skills involved in this, put an asterisk next to the skills that you need and you have and can confidently demonstrate, what skills you need to develop. Maybe do a traffic light system if it works better. Red is for, I definitely don't have these and I need to develop these. Yellow is for, I have these, but I need to be able to showcase them. Or green is for, I've got this. I've got examples of where I've demonstrated this. I do this every day. Okay, that would be really good. And then using the star example, as we said, to demonstrate some of these skills in depth, especially the ones that relate to your particular area right now, or your particular area of study, or your particular area where you want to go to in the future. So I'll give you an example of a star using the create group, commercial acumen, the business skill, decision making, and then here's the star example. So as a project manager at XYZ Logistics, I faced a dilemma when two key team members had conflicting opinions on the project direction. So now you're setting the scene and everyone can possibly relate to two people having a conflict of direction of a project. The task, my task, as I said, it always has to be about you, was to make a decisive choice that would align with the project goals and maintain the team cohesion. The action I took was schedule a meeting with both team members to understand the perspective and actively listen, probing questions, encourage dialogue, weighing the pros and cons, and making a decision that incorporated elements of both viewpoints. The result was I made a decision that not only resolved the conflict, but led to a stronger sense of collaboration because everybody got heard within the team. And by valuing input from all members of the team and making a well-informed decision, we're able to achieve the project objectives effectively. Now, this would be a really well-rounded answer. I mean, you could add some statistics to make it even better and to show results and impact on the KPIs of the organization. But using the star example, as we said, and your create skill will give you this extra edge of being able to confidently demonstrate the skills that we've spoken about so far. So that's create in a nutshell. I'm just going to put the skills up here again, just so that you can familiarize yourself with it. If you're watching it online, definitely pause and tick off some of these, revisit it. You can, again, use the workbook, the careers workbook, which hopefully you have a copy of. If you don't, grab yourself a copy and be able to use the workbook. I always refer to a workbook because you can take it into an interview setting and you can look through in an interview and it only shows preparedness, right? It's not a cheat sheet and you're not cheating, but it shows that you're prepared and you're serious about your profession and your career. So definitely looking forward to you using Create to help you on your journey of career success. My name's Linda Pallien and I am the Placements, Careers and Employability Manager here at LD Training, and I'm looking forward to your success. Thank you.